Nevada, the great silver state and the gold. New tales of Nevada, the stories, people working hard to make a home. Old tales of Nevada.
Hello everybody, welcome to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We have a great show in store for you today. We're going to be talking to one of our very successful entrepreneurs who runs a very unique and challenging business in these modern times. And we'll be back with the whole story right after this.
Hi, I'm Hugh Roy Marshall from the Marshall Mint, Virginia City and Reno, Nevada. Come to introduce you to the Let 'em Run Wild Horse Mustang series, which depicts the wild Mustangs herd running free, mare in its foal, the wild Mustangs fighting for love. These ingots are a limited edition double-struck product on 1 troy ounce 3-pine silver and are only available at the Marshall Mint, Virginia City or Reno, Nevada. Get your piece of history today.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988, so ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle, we're the biker's bike shop.
Welcome everybody to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show, and with me as usual, our executive producer, Hugh Roy Marshall. And boy, we've been doing this show for quite a while now, Hugh Roy. This is our 288th show, I think.
That's fantastic.
And it's all thanks to you and your vision about doing a show about the history of Nevada. So thanks for being with us again today. Our special guest today is Jose Brito. And he is the owner-operator of Deluxe Travel right on the corner of California Street there. And what's that other street, California and Forest?
Forest.
Yeah. California and Forest. So welcome to the show,
Yeah,
Jose.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you for
friend of
having
the
me.
show. You've been a sponsor of the show. People who watch the show have seen your commercial on the show ever since almost the beginning of our endeavor here. So appreciate you finally coming on the show.
And it's a pleasure to support the show. So.
Well, great. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
But the reason we have you on the show is not just because you're a friend of the show, is because of what you've done with your business here in Reno. And we're going to explore all of that because travel is something that many of us here in Reno take part in. We love to travel, and we all do it in different ways, but we want to talk about the travel business, and nobody knows it better than you because you deal with it 10, 12, 13 hours a day. So welcome to the show. Now, before we get to you and your story, we want to go back to you, Roy, because you, Roy, always tells us why we do the show.
You betcha. Well, we just do these shows each week to show the people that make a mark on the earth here in our area. And some make a bigger one than others, but we've had the whole community here and the area around the area well enough in order to really put forth the history of the area.
Yes.
And the traveling part of this area is very important because we're an event tourism orientated community, very much so.
Yeah.
So travel is very important, and people probably don't think to use a travel agency anymore hardly, but I think that it's growing now again.
Yeah, because travel has become more
It's coming back.
It's coming back because travel is so much more complicated than what it used to be, say, 20 years ago. We'll get into that as we go through the show.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have some great entrepreneurs in Reno.
You bet.
Jose being one, you being one, and it brings us pride to have those kind of people here.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us what you're up to on the
I
Comstock.
found a 25-pound nugget, which I sliced of platinum.
Amazing.
And platinum sometimes carries gold, but almost never silver.
Wow.
So we have that the other piece over on the table is a piece of silver ore
Yeah.
from the same area.
So that's got gold in it?
This
As well as
has
platinum?
gold as well as platinum.
That's pretty amazing. It just kind of kicked it up there in the dust. Up there on the Comstock. So actively working the area or surveying it, trying to determine the load.
Well, we found a really big deposit there that runs from where the Big Bonanza was mined all the way to the Citro mine in the north, about 2.5 miles away.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We've done some drone shoots.
And then
up
above that is this blue clay for which we started the project.
Yeah, blue clay has always been a factor up there, even with the big discovery of silver. It was the blue clay that was carrying the silver.
Yeah, and that clay has trapped some nuggets that are just absolutely incredible.
Pretty amazing stuff,
platinum,
yeah.
yeah.
So, in addition to all your mining activity up there, you're also the entrepreneur of the Marshall Mint.
You bet.
And where is that moving? November 1st. We're looking forward to a great event. What's going to happen?
We're going to move into the Reno Town Mall with the minting series part of our operation.
Super. Yeah.
And it will also be an outlet for our bullion.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, so we look forward to that opening up. It's been a long wait, but good things happens when you take your time.
Yeah, well, museums and that sort of thing take a long time.
Yeah, the museum part's going to be very nice too.
Yeah.
So, and then, we don't want to forget the Silverland Inn and Suites.
Yeah, the hotel.
The
Get
hotel.
your honey and go up to Virginia City and stay in our hotel.
Yeah.
Silverland Inn and Suites.
Yeah, what's the
847-4484.
Yeah, see, Jose needs to know that so he can book a bunch of rooms for you.
Sure, you betcha.
Well, listen, we want to welcome Jose
Yep.
and Deluxe Travel to our show again. And Jose, you're a unique guy. I love your story about where you were brought up and how you got here to Reno. So why don't we start there? Tell us, where you came from and how you found Reno, Nevada.
I was born on a small island in the Azores called Fayal. The city is named Horta. I came to the United States with my parents in 1968 with a family. My father worked for Western Union. In the old days, all the telegraphic telegrams went from North America to the island and then on to Europe and Africa.
So it went through underground cables.
Underground submarine cables,
under
wireless,
the ocean. You
wireless.
Even have that. You know a lot about that.
Then those companies closed with the invention of satellite, and my parents decided to come to the United States because we had family here.
Oh, I see.
So we came to the Bay Area first, to Fremont, California, and then in 1971, I came to visit Reno, fell in love with Reno. I was offered a job to start a travel agency.
Really?
And here I am.
Wow.
So I've lived since 1981 in Reno, Nevada.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
I love this place.
People come into the Truckee Meadows and they can't leave. It's so unique.
Beautiful. You have
gorgeous.
the desert, you have the mountains, you
Yeah.
have Tahoe. If you want to go to San Francisco, it's closed.
Yeah.
Yosemite National Park, Virginia City. You've got all this stuff around you that's it's just awesome.
It's really opening up.
Just awesome,
It's
yeah.
opening up.
Yeah, very much so.
When I was thinking about the Azores, I always wondered what it would be like to be brought up on an island, because your island wasn't that big, right?
No,
you were in a cluster of islands.
It's 52 kilometers to go drive around it.
Yeah, around it.
I was born with 2 beaches either side of my house, 2-minute walk.
Yeah, a 2-minute walk.
Yeah.
But did you ever feel like you were kind of isolated? It was like it's too small. It's
Not isolated
claustrophobic?
at that time, but the curiosity what was beyond the sea. That to me was what really
Did you always wonder what
worked
was
on my mind, and that's the curiosity I had for travel and to know what was
You're
beyond.
kind of like Columbus, right? What was on the other side? Exactly. So that's great. So you moved from the Azores directly over into Portugal. Tell people where the Azores is. So.
The Azores is a group of 9 islands in the middle of the Atlantic that belong to Portugal.
Portugal. And how far are you from the mainland?
We're about 1,200 miles from Lisbon
Wow.
and 2,100 miles from New York.
Wow, you really are in the middle of the ocean.
Right in the middle of the ocean. All volcanic islands.
Yeah, in fact, you had one go off, right, when you were a child?
Well, yeah, in
Or
1957, the volcano erupted on the island. I was 3 years old.
3 years old.
I still have memories of that.
Yeah. Did you have to evacuate the island and everything?
We didn't evacuate, but at one point we were prepared to evacuate, especially when the main crater of the island activity became smoke came out of it, and people were concerned.
Holy cow!
You know, the Azores have a very interesting geological significance on the planet because they're one of the very few, if any, other mid-Atlantic ridge system volcanics that has been marked by much surface development.
Oh, really?
We got Hawaii, of course.
Yeah.
They're developing more right now.
Yeah, for sure.
But that area is very ancient, too.
Yeah, very active still, right?
Yeah, on the Azores, you have the three plates that meet there and then create the pressure and the volcanic activity.
But it's also a very beautiful island, a cluster of islands.
Very beautiful, very pristine, very green, not commercialized.
Yeah, great place to travel to.
Absolutely.
And if you want to go there, you can fix
there every year.
Many times a year, we know.
Sometimes.
Okay. So you came to the United States. You made yourself get to Reno with the family. And how did you get into the travel business?
Well, I was looking for jobs on the newspaper, and I had been doing some travel business work in California for another travel agency. And here there was an ad for a job to start a travel agency, and the people that wanted to start the travel agency were Alan and Viva Hyman.
Oh, okay.
They were living here in Reno, and I went for the interview, and he gave me the job on the spot.
Isn't that something? Now, did you have some experience before that?
Yes, I had some experience.
Okay, where did you?
But it was at the time where everything was evolving. The old agency, we still hand wrote tickets, did the tickets by hand, and called in the reservations by phone. And then when I came here, we started doing that, but then quickly we went into the reservation systems, the global distribution systems.
Yeah, right. Now, when you went into the travel business, was it a family affair when you bought it, or was it just you?
I went to go work for the owners, for Alan and Viva.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Then in 1999, they wanted to retire, and I purchased the agency from them.
Okay, good. Let's talk about travel agencies. They've been around. I didn't know this, but they've been around for a very long time, and actually originated in
England.
England.
Yeah, Thomas Cook.
Thomas A. Cook.
Yeah, they've been around for a long, long time.
Yeah, I remember many agents. I still remember back east advertisers. Thomas A. Cook, travel agencies. He must have been a visionary, I guess, because once he opened up, he wasn't satisfied with just one store or one agency. He had a vision to do franchise, didn't he?
Yes, they did. They have lots of offices in Europe. Yeah. They started in the UK.
Yeah,
United Kingdom.
And I guess he was affiliated with a big railroad system over there in England, who wanted more travel customers, and that was the origination of it.
And then they went into the steamboats, steamships.
Yeah.
And just expanded.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
They even have their own airline.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a break here. Actually, we're through our first segment, so we're going to come back, and I want to talk a little bit about our Nevada travel, and then again back to your travel agency and how you really help people to find great travel all over the world. So we'll be back with more Old Tales Nevada, past and present, right after this.
Hey everyone, Dave Asher here, introducing you to our new store, the Nevada Marketplace, in the Reno Town Mall. Anchored with the Buy Nevada First gift shop, we've added over 60 micro shops, giving locals a place to set up their dream store. We are now 20,000 square feet strong, supporting over 250 local merchants with all things made in Nevada and more. We have more locals in one place than anywhere in the state, ready to help you find that perfect gift. We're open every day with easy parking at Peckham and Virginia. Go to buynevadafirst.com, your source for all things local.
Hi, I'm Paula.
And I'm Dan. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antiques and Craft Shows at the Livestock Event Center on Wells Avenue.
I'd also like to tell you about our everyday location. We're at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia Street. We're Antique Antiques, booth number 46.
You'll find paintings by Nevada artists, collectible glass, vintage jewelry, Native American jewelry and baskets, antiques and unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques inside Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street.
Come see us.
Somewhere in Time is the place to find what will be treasured for all time. A store full of the unexpected. High-end die-cast models, vintage and antique furniture, Fenton glassware, kerosene lamps, toy trains, vintage neon, a new home decor selection, brothel and casino memorabilia, jewelry creations, and cameras in large collections throughout the store. Bring the family and find the unexpected that will be treasured for all time at Somewhere in Time on Virginia Street in Reno.
Protect and serve. When you call for help, you want someone who works for you. It's important you don't see law enforcement as the enemy. With 26 years of experience at the Sheriff's Office, 20 of those years in leadership positions, I'm ready to take on that challenge, addressing crime and preparing the next generation of law enforcement to work smarter, focusing on solutions. I'm retired Captain Heidi Howe, ready for our future, not stuck in the past.
Welcome back to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We have our special guest with us today, Jose Brito, who owns Deluxe Travel on the corner of California and
Plumas Street.
Plumas, yes. And how long has that location been there?
We have been there since 1988.
1998. That's
88.
1980.
And before that, we were across the street. You know where the Blue Moon Pizza is?
Yeah, right.
We were there from 81 to 88.
Oh, wow.
So we've been on that corner for
It's
the
been a
whole.
good location.
It's a perfect location.
That's a great location. You can't miss it when you drive down there.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we talked about you getting here to Reno, getting involved in the travel business, buying the travel business, and what a great business it is. And Nevadans have a history of wanting to travel. You know, I mean, we've been known for travel, actually. If you go all the way back to the 1770s, I'm talking way back there, the Mexicans came up into Nevada. And in fact, you always tell us about the Mexicans being on the Comstock before.
Hey, Jim.
There was.
Grab me that Nevada map right there.
There we go. Jim.
Might as well tell you how the first people got here, whatever.
Okay.
You see this gap up right up through there?
Yeah, right up through there.
That's how they got.
Oh,
here.
right up through the valleys there.
Yep.
Oh, no kidding.
And see how all the other mountain ranges are running north-south.
North-south, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the geography of the area of this area has always been important.
Yeah, for sure. So the Mexicans came through here, and then of course we've had the pioneers. This was a main travel route to California. And of course, in a sense, I guess they had a travel agency, right? Because they had wagon masters to get them through the mountains and all. Well, maybe that's the forerunner of a travel agent right there. We've had the trains, intercontinental trains came through here. That's to match up with the Golden Spike in Utah. And then
Highway 42 from
Highway 40
all the way from the east, and they have their party every year.
What's in Nebraska or Illinois? Yeah, that's the Lincoln Highway.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the first intercontinental highway come through Nevada. So, and then all our special events today that bring people in and out.
Lots of events.
Lots of events today. So anyway, great place for traveling, I think. But going back to the travel agency business, after it became successful in London and England and that area, eventually they thought they would work here in the United States, and a new travel agency opened up, and I believe it was in New York. And I think I had the name of it here somewhere, but that was the first travel agency in New York, in the United States, Brownwell Travel. And you said you were familiar with those names, like Thomas A. Cook and Brownwell, the originators. But I was doing some research, and you probably backed this up. It wasn't until the 1920s, and that's when travel agencies really started to flourish. and a good reason for that. Do you know what it was?
I think the trains cross country, and also the steamships that cross the Atlantic.
That?
Yes. And then flights came into place.
There you go. Commercial
aviation.
Air travel.
Absolutely. And that changed a lot of stuff.
That's changed a lot.
It was given as a very deluxe service too.
Yes. Yes.
As it originated too.
Yes.
Air flying was very deluxe in those days.
Very deluxe. In fact, the travel agencies, according to the history I looked at, catered to the rich and upper middle class.
Mm-hmm.
But you can imagine how difficult it must have been, right, Jose, to make travel.
Going to South America in those days or whatever, it's an awful scenario.
Yeah, trying to get down there.
50s, yeah.
Yeah.
But in those days, my grandfather worked for Pan Am. He was the pilot of the refueling boat on the time of the Clippers.
Oh, wow.
They used to go New York, Horta in the Azores, and then over to Lisbon. And that was very luxurious in those days, those Clippers, those Pan American Clippers.
Yeah.
They were very, very interesting.
Clipper service.
Not that way anymore.
No.
Not in the U.S. anyway, for sure. But can you imagine how difficult it would have been for an individual to go out and make travel plans, whether it involved, aviation, boat travel across to Europe, any kind of tour over there, took a lot of planning.
I think that's where travel agents came in and started helping people out to make the reservations and assist people with the arrangements.
Yes, right.
It was really needed. I mean, you had to get shots in order to go to a lot of places. A lot of places, the travelers say you can't go there anyway. Forget it.
Right.
It wasn't allowed.
You had to prepare well in advance for any kind of travel, right?
Absolutely.
Jose? And the travel agents would probably be of great service that way because they would know what kind of shots you need or passport.
Well, we assist
visa.
in today's environment. We assist with shots, visas. We do hotels, cars, train, airplanes, cruises, tours.
Yeah,
we assist with the whole range. And,
are there still countries you have to get shots for? Is it Africa?
Oh, absolutely.
Is it
Africa, South America.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
South America?
Some countries in Asia, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And how far in advance do you have to plan for something like that?
I probably, like Africa, probably 6 months in advance because you have to take vaccinations. You have to get ready for malaria pills. And absolutely. Yeah, I've taken 2 groups to Africa, and we've had to prepare.
No kidding.
Way in advance.
Wow. So from the 1920s, I would imagine all the way up until the mid-1990s, there was just a whole bunch of competition regarding travel agencies. I remember when I first came to Reno in '86, there were still a lot of travel agencies in town. Isn't that correct?
In this area, I estimate that up to the internet era, we probably had about 125 to 150 travel agencies in the area. I'm talking about Sparks, Reno, Carson City, Gardnerville, Minden, Tahoe, Truckee. This whole area here. Yeah, about 125 to 150.
That's amazing. That's a huge industry when you think about it, employee-wise and everything else,
It used to be very, very large.
Yeah, and it was very lucrative, too, because you would get a commission on
We would get paid commissions from the airlines.
Airlines, yes. Uh-huh.
And all the service providers would pay us commission.
Yeah.
They still do. The airlines don't.
Yeah.
But the other services like cruises, tours, they still pay us.
Yeah.
I think it must have helped a lot of all the businesses, the hotels, where they're going and whatnot too. You would have a relationship with many hotels.
Yeah. Well, they have this wonderful
we still
internet
have
system now.
Yeah, we still have relationships with certain airlines, cruise lines, and tour operators.
Yeah.
And we help people, especially when they get stuck with a situation like a canceled flight, a mechanical on a flight, and people are stranded, and they call us, and we help them get out of the situation.
You help them out. I know you even checked with me when I was in Portugal to make sure I was having a good time.
Absolutely.
And I
wanted to make sure
was.
you were pleased.
I was on the rooftop hotel, and I was enjoying a glass of wine, and he calls to see if I'm having a good time. I said, nah, I'm not having a good time. But if you can reminisce just for a moment, who were some of the biggest travel agencies in Reno at that time? Can you recall?
Oh my God, we had Canary Travel, we had Gene Beaton, we had Travel Advisors.
Yeah.
international travel.
Right.
I used three of those before.
Yeah, Hello Travel was another one.
Hello,
right?
Hello World Travel.
Yeah, I remember that name. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, when I was at Channel 8, we used to put on trips for our clients. And so we'd sell a contract for airtime, and then we'd give them a trip down to Mexico or whatever. And sometimes it would amount to 250 people, okay? So I would go to a travel agent here locally. I can't remember. I think it was Travel Advisors, actually. And they would put this whole beautiful trip together for us, and I didn't have to hardly lift a finger except to say yay or nay on activities and things like that. But it was so beautiful because you guys are so
everything
professional.
was packaged for you.
Yeah.
Arrange everything for you.
Everything for you. Yeah. So there was like a heyday there from...
we're a one-stop shop.
Yeah, one-stop shop.
When you really think about it.
Yeah.
Because we can put everything together on your trip, and you don't have to worry about anything.
So everything's going along great for travel agencies, 120 travel agencies or something here in Reno. And then...
The internet.
The internet shows up, right?
Absolutely.
And so, tell us...
that changed the landscape of the whole business.
That was huge, but even before that, right, Jose? The airlines, or was that in conjunction?
They started cutting commissions.
Yeah.
At the same time as the internet's coming along, so it was a big change in the industry.
Right.
A lot of my colleagues didn't survive.
Oh yeah, I mean,
major change. I think today we probably have 6 or 7 agencies in the area.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It's
so. Let me ask you, before...
But we're coming back.
You're coming back.
We are coming back.
I really believe your industry will come back, because look at how the world is now.
It's getting too complex. It's too hard.
Very complex.
Way too much stuff out there.
Yeah, what place is safe, what's not,
we're
it's just crazy. But before the airlines cut commissions, now, would you do all those services for free because you had commissions
all the
coming
services were for free, and then we had to implement service fees. Those came into place.
Yeah.
And
well, that's amazing.
That's kind of where we subsidize the business with the service fees.
Yes, right.
Airline tickets.
Yeah, you have to.
You have no other choice.
Because I know, because of what you do. For me, you spend sometimes 2 hours just on a trip just to find me the best fare.
That's right.
And nobody's going to do that.
You have to search the routings and the different airlines and so on to see where it makes sense to get you a good deal.
Yeah. But it was a big change for the business to go from no charge to all of a sudden a service charge. Huge. And I think people today, and we'll get into this in the next segment, but I think our listeners, our viewers are probably still thinking that travel agencies are for the rich. They're for the higher middle class. They're for the business class, and not for us blue collar guys that live in Donner Springs.
We service
for example.
Everybody.
Yeah. Well, that's what we want to get into.
We absolutely service everybody.
Let me break here, and we'll come back with more Old Tales in Nevada. And the great business entrepreneur we have with us, Jose Brito from the Deluxe Travel on California and Plumas. Back after this.
The beautiful fall colors are being duplicated in the fall collection of fashions at Boutique Elegante. Sweaters are either in the crayon colors for fall or soft muted shades in bark and beige. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante. For our cold winter days, jackets and vests are the perfect answer. Faux fur and full leather are the strong fabrics for this season. Team them with maxi skirts for a beautiful seasonal look. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
Somewhere in Time is a place to find what will be treasured for all time. A store full of the unexpected. High-end die-cast models, vintage and antique furniture, Fenton glassware, kerosene lamps, toy trains, vintage neon, a new home decor selection, brothel and casino memorabilia, jewelry creations, and cameras in large collections throughout the store. Bring the family and find the unexpected that will be treasured for all time at Somewhere in Time on Virginia Street in Reno.
Deluxe Travel, locally owned and operating since 1991, is the home for travel to Mexico and Central and South America. The crew at Deluxe Travel is bilingual, trustworthy, thorough, and caring. They will do everything possible to make your dream vacation the best it can be. Now is the time to book for winter travel, so stop by the office at 100 California Avenue or call 686-7000. You can also check us out on our website at deluxetravelLTD.com.
At Deluxe Travel, we sell dreams. Come in and plan yours.
Hi, I'm Paula.
And I'm Dan. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antiques and Craft Shows at the Livestock Event Center on Wells Avenue.
I'd also like to tell you about our everyday location. We're at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia Street. We're Antique Antiques, booth number 46.
You'll find paintings by Nevada artists, collectible glass, vintage jewelry, Native American jewelry and baskets, antiques and unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques inside Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street.
Hey everyone, Dave Asher here introducing you to our new store, the Nevada Marketplace, in the Reno Town Mall. Anchored with the Buy Nevada First gift shop, we've added over 60 micro shops, giving locals a place to set up their dream store. We are now 20,000 square feet strong, supporting over 250 local merchants with all things made in Nevada and more. We have more locals in one place than anywhere in the state, ready to help you find that perfect gift. We're open every day with easy parking at Peckham and Virginia. Go to buynevadafirst.com, your source for all things local.
The beautiful fall colors are being duplicated in the fall collection of fashions at Boutique Elegante. Sweaters are either in the crayon colors for fall or soft muted shades in bark and beige. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
You have got to come and see our bridal designer collection here at Precision Diamonds. We bought our building, lower the overhead. That means everyday low prices to you.
The office of sheriff is nonpartisan, and so am I. Today, we seem to be more polarized on issues than together. As nonpartisan, I realize how important it is to listen to all sides. With our growing community, every voice should be heard. As sheriff, you don't get to pick and choose who you protect and serve. With no ties to special interests, I work for you, the citizens of our great community. I'm retired Captain Heidi Howe, ready for our future, not stuck in the past.
Welcome back to Old Tales Nevada, Past and Present. Just to remind everybody who we are, I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show. With me, our executive producer, Roy Marshall, and our special guest today, Jose Brito from Deluxe Travel, California and Plumas. And what a friendly attitude you have there at the agency. You walk in, the people are friendly, and what I like about it, if I want to talk to Jose, he's open door.
You just march right in.
Just march right in.
That's right.
And Jose will sit there and listen to you and find out what your needs are, what your budget is, and then he goes to work for hours putting something really fabulous together for you. Whether it's just a trip, from JFK to Reno to JFK.
Or Portugal.
Or Portugal, for me, was...
South America.
I'll talk about that as we go along. Jose and his staff do a fabulous amount of work for you there. So we talked about the big change in the industry and how we went from 120 or so travel agents in the area down to how many today?
About 6 or 7, I estimate.
About 6 or 7. That is amazing.
A handful.
Well, that must have created a tremendous amount of challenges for you as the owner and entrepreneur of that business. You must have also contemplated maybe going away, right?
It was very hard with that change. And then we also had 9/11, which today is the anniversary of 9/11. Yeah. And I was in Portugal at the time, and when I flew back, I remember flying from Newark to Denver on a DC-10 airplane with probably 35 people on board. Oh. And I got back to the office, and we were refunding all of the sales we had made.
Wow. Yeah.
We had that first month was totally negative.
Loss. Yeah.
Total loss.
Sure. Absolutely.
And then I had to cut costs. And it slowly cut costs. I thought I was never going to see the end. It took about 9 months for it to start coming back.
Isn't that amazing? But you persevered. I bet you had a lot of sleepless nights, Jose.
Worry.
Yeah, worry.
And employees would quit. I wouldn't replace them, and it was a big change.
Yeah. Well, you probably lost employees also because of the... the infiltration of the internet.
Absolutely.
Travel.
Everything changed.
Yeah. So many experienced travel people went on to other careers.
Yeah, and today there's a big need for travel agents, and we can't find them.
You can't find them.
We have a shortage.
Isn't that amazing?
Somebody could open a business,
just to train people.
To train people, and they would be very successful.
Well, you should do it.
I have my hands full.
No, you want to go back to the Azores and retire.
I want to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we have the internet for a choice. or we have a travel agency for a choice.
That's
okay?
correct.
So if I go to the internet, I can go to, or I can go to an airline internet, right?
Yeah, or you can call an airline. You can go to the airline website. Okay. You can go to a travel agency online.
Okay, so I can get a ticket from Reno, Nevada, JFK, and they send it to me via the web, and I'm happy. So why should I go to the
Well, let me ask you a question. If you go online, how do you know you have the best deal?
I don't know.
That's the number one question.
Number one question, right.
Because you really are comparing what they're throwing at you, and when you book online, you don't really see the inventory, the buckets of inventory for the different fare levels. I get to see that on my system. On the internet, one doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's a major, major difference. I can build connections. I can say, let's look at Reno, San Francisco, and then San Francisco to Denver, Denver to New York. I can build those connections. You cannot do that on the internet. You just get what the system...
What's offered there.
Yes.
And the reason...
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, the reason you can do that is because you actually pay, as an agency, you buy these different web
I subscribe to the global distribution system. In our case, we have two systems in our office. We have Sabre and WorldSpan.
Right.
WorldSpan is our major system, and then we have Sabre as a backup.
Right.
So we can compare between two systems, different things as well.
Different things, right.
Absolutely.
And you did that for me a couple of times. I know I had to go back east for...
when you went to New York.
Yeah, Memorial. Somebody... One of the relatives have died. I can't remember now. But anyway, I had a situation where it was an emergency, and it was going to be a lot of money. And I went to Jose, and this was my first experience with a travel agent. And you saved me like $500 on that trip.
Yeah, because I worked at different angles on the itinerary to see where the least costly fit, where the best price was.
Right, that's right. Yeah. And how long did it take you to do that?
It takes me some time.
Well, I know it took you at least an hour to do that. And I thought that was just fabulous. And you know what it cost me? You know what he charges for that? $35.
That's great.
$35
That's
for
not
a
bad.
ticket.
But if you call the airline and you book it over the phone with the airline, they're going to charge you $50. So I'm still a deal.
Yeah. So you're a steal. You really are. And then
think about this though. That we're in a new big college town attitude.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kids want to travel because mine want to travel all the time.
Yes.
So a lot of kids and people don't know what's there, where they're going, or where to go there.
Well, right.
So if his advertising is done well enough, then it'll be a funnel for people that don't know it. These kids that don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Well, they want to get home.
Yeah. Okay, here's another experience I had with Jose. I think was just fabulous. Bonnie and I had our 50th wedding anniversary coming up. We wanted to do something special, and Jose's one of our clients. So I go to Jose and I say, Jose, give me some ideas on what I can do. Here's my budget generally, and what would you suggest? And we went through a number of scenarios.
I think we looked at Costa Rica.
Yes.
You looked at maybe
Nicaragua,
Peru, and then I think we opted for Portugal.
Yeah, we opted for Portugal.
Yeah, Europe.
Thought about Mexico, and you just thought because of your knowledge of Europe itself, and especially Portugal, that for the budget you could really put together something special for us, and you went to work, and you spent quite a bit of time.
Yeah, and I think you had a very, very special trip.
Oh, we had a very special trip. Yeah, so memorable. We'll never forget it. And we're even contemplating going back and making it even better next time.
That's a nice compliment.
Yeah.
Jose, when you were a boy over in the
Azores,
where did most of the people come from that were there?
They
shipped people that came through the area, or
when they
discovered where your folks come from?
The Azores were discovered around 1491.
The early discoveries.
Was it Columbus?
Our discoveries. The Portuguese navigators.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, at one time they had a big empire, and
Navarro, right?
Yeah, they controlled the navigation.
They did.
They were big discoverers.
Probably always been 90%.
Yeah, Vasco da Gama.
Yes.
Magellan.
Yes.
Yeah, all of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw his grave and his the big cathedral there.
Yeah, Jerónim's Monastery.
Yeah, that's amazing. If you want to see old stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, Portugal is the place to go. It's the second oldest European city in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You walk by a wall. I was asking a tour guide, you put that tour together for me, and I said, how old is that wall? She said, it's probably a couple of thousand years old. I go, what? 2,000 years old? I mean, you come to Reno, and it's great. It's a great city, but there's not anything over 150 years old, So when they say, that's 2,000 years old, and that's pretty commonplace, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of history, a lot of culture.
Yeah.
Very old.
So the Portuguese were always world travelers, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
They're all over the planet.
So I wanted to ask you. Another great reason, besides all the work you do to put the itinerary together and great pricing, is your knowledge of the world. Because you as a travel agent, make it your business to get out to these different areas, right? Tell us some of the places.
I love to travel.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, I've been to all the continents,
right,
including Antarctica. And I've been to probably about 70 countries.
Right. How many cities?
And cities and so on. So I know I know the places. I've been there. So I can suggest and recommend stuff to a traveler.
Yes.
That you cannot get that on the internet.
Right.
Because I have firsthand experience.
Yeah. Well, you were telling us about an experience you had. It was in Portugal. You were over there recently, and you were up in the wine country, the Douro River.
The Douro Valley, yes.
Douro Valley. And you made it your point to visit the various hotels that were in that area, so that when you came back and somebody asked you about a tour to the Douro Valley, you had first-hand information about what those hotels.
I visited some of the hotels up there on my last trip.
Yeah. So how fabulous is that? I mean, to get that first-hand experience and then not have to guess about it on an internet
that
site.
has value.
Yeah, absolute value. Yeah,
that knowledge is power, and it's good to recommend to somebody. Say, you ought to try this, you ought to go here, you ought to do that.
Yeah,
I think it's very important.
Yeah. So besides Portugal, I know that's one of your favorites places to visit right now, because not only because it's beautiful and all that kind of thing, but it's a safe area. When you think about terrorists,
very safe. Most people speak English.
It's not really highly populated either.
No, 10 million people is the population of the country.
Big variety in terrain.
And then we're neighbors with Spain, which is another great country.
Yeah.
I love Spain as well. And then we're very close to North Africa, right there, Morocco and so on. Another interesting place. And then in the last 4 years, I've taken 2 different groups to Africa. I've fallen in love with Africa.
Everybody says that.
Just amazing.
Pretty amazing. Well, listen, we got to take another break here. We want to come back and kind of finish up our discussion about travel agencies. But I just think you deserve a lot of kudos because of your perseverance and not allowing business challenges discourage you and make you fail. You found a way to succeed, and that's part of what we like about our entrepreneurs in Nevada. They always succeed, and it brings us pride to have people like you on our
a lot of hard work
on our map. Yes,
Persistence.
We'll be back right after this message on Old Tales in Nevada, past and present.
You have got to come and see our bridal designer collection here at Precision Diamonds. We bought our building, lower the overhead. That means everyday low prices to you.
Hey everyone, Dave Asher here introducing you to our new store, the Nevada Marketplace, in the Reno Town Mall. Anchored with the Buy Nevada First gift shop, we've added over 60 micro shops, giving locals a place to set up their dream store. We are now 20,000 square feet strong, supporting over 250 local merchants with all things made in Nevada and more. We have more locals in one place than anywhere in the state, ready to help you find that perfect gift. We're open every day with easy parking at Peckham and Virginia. Go to buynevadafirst.com, your source for all things local.
Somewhere in Time is a place to find what will be treasured for all time. A store full of the unexpected. High-end die-cast models, vintage and antique furniture, Fenton glassware, kerosene lamps, toy trains, vintage neon, a new home decor selection, brothel and casino memorabilia, jewelry creations, and cameras in large collections throughout the store. Bring the family and find the unexpected that will be treasured for all time at Somewhere in Time on Virginia Street in Reno.
The beautiful fall colors are being duplicated in the fall collection of fashions at Boutique Elegante. Sweaters are either in the crayon colors for fall or soft muted shades in bark and beige. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante. For our cold winter days, jackets and vests are the perfect answer. Faux fur and faux leather are the strong fabrics for this season. Team them with maxi skirts for a beautiful seasonal look. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
If you ask a law enforcement officer what causes them the most stress, many would say the brass or the bureaucracy above them. In my 26 years with the Sheriff's Office, favoritism and cronyism felt like policy. Our law enforcement officers have a tough enough job. They deserve respect, and so do you. I'm retired Captain Heidi Howe, ready for our future, not stuck in the past.
You have got to come and see our bridal designer collection here at Precision Diamonds. We bought our building, lower the overhead. That means everyday low prices to you.
Protect and serve. When you call for help, you want someone who works for you. It's important you don't see law enforcement as the enemy. With 26 years of experience at the Sheriff's Office, 20 of those years in leadership positions, I'm ready to take on that challenge, addressing crime and preparing the next generation of law enforcement to work smarter, focusing on solutions. I'm retired Captain Heidi Howe, ready for our future, not stuck in the past.
You have got to come and see our bridal designer collection here at Precision Diamonds. We bought our building, lower the overhead. That means everyday low prices to you.
We're back here for our last segment of Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present. Have a great conversation about travel. When I heard we were having Jose on the show, I was very curious because of what people want to do nowadays and how a travel agency. I just was curious about where the travel agency started and all the challenges you had to face and what you're doing for people today. I think it's great. With all we talked about. Terrorists and what's safe, what's not. That's another thing that you bring to the table, right? I mean, you have your disposal. I think you probably have information about travel alerts and what's going on.
We get travel alerts, we get weather alerts, we know what's going on a daily basis.
Yeah.
What's happening right now? We're dealing with hurricanes.
Yeah.
Approaching the United States. So
right.
Airlines have already started preparing people for cancellation. So we have to try to reroute people and change people's reservations and so on.
You were telling me a story that you were up in the middle of the night not too long ago dealing with somebody with wheelchairs and having some special need, and you just stayed up almost all night trying to figure out a way to make whatever travel situation work for that particular person.
I help people all the time. Sometimes people call me in the middle of the night, they're stuck, and I help them.
Yeah, you're talking about Africa.
You have to.
You're talking about Africa. I was reading on Google the other day that the Ebola virus is rearing its ugly head again in different parts of Africa. So you know about that.
Yeah, we know about all those alerts. Yes.
Yeah, keep them away from places like that. Yeah. So what a great service you provide for people, and I'm glad you bought that agency from who were the people?
I bought the agency from Alan and Viva Hyman. Yeah.
And now that guy was not only a travel agent, he did some other great things.
He had a contracting business, and when he came to town, he came to do the work on the MGM, painting and wallpapering.
I see.
Yeah, he was very involved with that.
Yeah, I remember the red wallpaper.
You know, when they opened up that MGM, that opened up a whole market to this city.
That's a good question. Do you get a lot of incoming people that call you to get them here from wherever they're at?
My business is mostly outgoing. Yeah, but
what percentage do you think?
Probably 80%.
80%. But
Yeah.
you will get people, say, from Finland that want to, or Australia that want to come to.
I have corporate clients. They will maybe set up a business meeting here. Then they bring their travelers here for the meeting. So we also do that.
Okay. So that's another great question. What's your percentage of corporate travel compared to
about
retail?
50-50.
Oh, it's that good, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We still do a lot of corporate travel.
Yeah. Now, I know you do a lot of work for the Hispanic community.
That's correct.
In and out of Mexico.
We have Spanish-speaking agents.
That's wonderful.
That help the Latin community, because we do have a large Latin community in the area.
Yeah. So that's an amazing thing, and you're actually looking to expand at this point, right?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah, but you have the challenge of finding employees.
That's a big challenge.
No, so where does somebody go in order to...
I've had an ad on the paper for a month, and I didn't get anybody with any experience.
Really? Well,
Yeah,
that's the
it's
paper.
Really tough.
Who reads the paper nowadays, right?
I would put an ad over at the university, right on their bulletin board in their dormitory.
Are there college courses for that kind of business?
Not anymore.
Travel agency very often.
At one time there was college courses, but not anymore. And there's a need for it. There's a huge need for it.
Well, let's start a new business, Jose.
Let's do it, John. I'll be working 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean, who needs that, right? Okay. So that's unusual. So in the United States, there's really no way to find travel agents ready to go. So what do you do then? You bring them in.
You train them. What I do is we bring them in and we train them from scratch.
Wow.
But that's very labor intensive.
Wow, I
it's
guess.
a lot of hard work.
Yeah. How long does it take for a new travel agent to get proficient?
The last one we trained probably about 3 months.
3 months. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a loss for you for about 3 months, right?
Well, it takes another agent to overshadow the person.
I was changed so much too that you'd have to have somebody retrained.
Yeah, for sure. Now, so. Yeah, I was going to ask another question. It kind of just left me for a moment, but I'll think of it before the end of the show. So 3 months of...
How do people find you, Jose?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
From the internet?
From the internet. We have a web page.
You guys haven't advertised too much on TV, have you?
No, we haven't.
I advertise with Spanish TV and then the program here. But mostly it's word of mouth, and then we have a website on the internet. But I think a lot of it is word of mouth.
Built over the years.
Yeah, built over the years. Yeah. And then, the presence with the Spanish community on TV, and then your show.
Yeah.
We just keep that name out there.
Keep the name out there. And you're consistent, which is also
very consistent.
Nice.
We've been doing this for a long time.
And you know what the thing about Jose is he's a nice guy. He really wants to do the right thing for his customers. And sometimes
I put myself in their shoes.
Yes.
When I do a trip for somebody, is if I was in their shoes and I was traveling, and I look at the things that you would encounter and try to protect them from that.
Yes, and you're very good about giving back to the community too. Not only hiring people off the street to give them a career, really. And all you're asking for them to do is put forth their effort, but you also are involved in other charitable type of situations here in town too, correct?
Yeah, I try to get involved in the community, try to network with people.
Yeah,
and it's I try to keep out there and have that relationship with the client, a friendship and a relationship at the same time.
Yeah,
I think it's
Jose,
really important.
Would you be able to do jobs or feel responsible to handle arrangements for a country or for a traveling dignitary?
Absolutely.
Yeah, security and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you can almost handle anything.
So you think you could put that together too? Yeah.
So if U-Roy wanted to have, because he has connections all over the world, U-Roy does, people don't realize that, but if he wanted to have a dignitary come to Reno to visit him, you as a travel agent could provide the necessary security, the necessary car travel, all of those things.
Yeah, we can arrange all that.
Yeah, security. And when I say security, I'm talking about security people, that sort of thing. You can arrange all that, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You are a one-stop shop, huh?
Try to be.
That's fun. And so besides the travel, I know you love to travel, what other fun things do you do in your life here in Reno?
Oh, I do a lot of stuff in Reno.
You have a boat, don't you?
I have a boat. I boat, I camp, I hike, I backpack, I snowmobile. I've got everything. Reno is my backyard, and I enjoy every aspect of it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I everything.
Yeah. Now, what kind of boat do you run around in?
I have a boat. I keep a boat up at Tahoe in the summer months. Yeah. 21 foot.
Wow. Is that big enough for Tahoe?
Yeah, it's
pretty
nice.
good size.
I was on it Sunday.
No kidding, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this time of year is a great time of year to be up there, right?
And then in the winter, I snowmobile. I enjoy the peacefulness of the mountains. Yeah, it's
no kidding.
It's very pristine in the winter.
Wow. Where do you snowmobile? Where do you go?
I go up to Jackson Meadows Reservoir area.
Yeah.
North of Truckee.
Oh.
I go all over the place.
Well,
I go to Tahoe.
That's something
it's really
I did
enjoyable.
not know.
Yeah.
It's something I did not know. That's amazing.
I hike Desolation, Yosemite.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's right around us
You
here.
can give kids knowledge about that, so they can go up there and do that.
Now, suppose that brings up another question for me. Suppose somebody wanted a local wants to do something local, like snowmobiling, but they want somebody to guide them and do it right.
I can arrange that. There's outfitters, people here in the area that take snowmobilers out.
Okay.
They're trained to take people out.
Okay.
The first time I snowmobiled, I went with one of those outfitters.
Okay. Suppose I
If
wanted
they have
to
a
go
guide.
Fishing on Tahoe or on the Truckee River. Can I get a guide? Could you put together a guide trip
absolutely.
for me?
You got to try that snowmobiling. It's a lot of fun.
I know.
Our area offers all of those opportunities. There's people that do all of that in the area.
But if they could come to you and
I
you
can guide them
for
through the process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Now, do you get commission on those from the travel people?
Some yes, and some we have to charge a fee.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
But we can
stuff.
put it together for.
Now, if I wanted to go to the Comstock and have a historical tour, not snow cones and candy, if I wanted to go up there and actually spend 3 days, maybe Silverland and the Swedes,
absolutely,
and then have somebody guide me through a historical tour. You have the connections to do something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing stuff. Yeah.
All that stuff is done locally.
Or if I wanted to go to San Francisco, you could put together that.
Absolutely.
Or Sacramento, anything close like that.
Just had some clients go to Sacramento on the train, on Amtrak, for the night and stayed on the Delta Hotel down there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And came back the next day.
What does something like that cost to do?
That was very reasonable. I think that trip was probably about $150 per person.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
For the night, so including the train.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So anyway, I'm learning more as I speak here. Because I get that sometimes with my relatives. Hey, could I go do this or I could do that? And I don't know, but now I know who to call. All right. So thanks so much for being
having
with
me.
us,
It's
Jose.
been a pleasure.
I think we got a lot of
Mm-hmm.
good information. But like I mentioned earlier in the show, we really love having entrepreneurs like this on the show, don't we, you, right?
Yeah, especially that love Nevada.
Yeah, we love Nevada, and we want people to see Nevada, but we also want them to be able to have a comfortable trip abroad like I did. And you're the man that has all the information for those kind of special times in your life.
And we have a beautiful state.
Yeah, and we have a beautiful state.
We really do. And
unbelievable.
If you go east, it's wide open with a lot of adventure.
A lot of ghost towns out there to explore.
Ghost towns,
That's really true, yeah.
Well, listen, we got to close our show.
Thank you for having me.
Jose, thanks so much.
Betcha.
Deluxe Travel is the place to go. One-stop source for all kinds of travel, and make yourself really pleased with your travel and your visions, because he'll take care of it for you. So for Jose and for you, Roy, and myself, we want to thank the audience here for being with us this week. Invite you back next week for another episode of Old Tales Nevada Past and Present. In the meantime, we want to wish you a great Nevada day, and we'll see you next week on Old Tales of Nevada.